It's Friday night, you know what that means. We had another episode of AEW Rampage, following up from a very eventful AEW All Out. Not necessarily the pay-per-view itself, but some of the stuff after. I'm just saying, that person over there.
Yep, I'm Range of Motions, baby.
And we are Top Rope Tokes, and we're going to talk a little bit about AEW Rampage with you tonight. First and foremost, if you're there and you love any of our opinions or have anything that you want to comment, suggest, or talk about in future episodes, make sure you drop a comment while you're there, like button.
Yeah, and if you don't like what we have to say, tell us that too, because we accept all forms of feedback.
Yeah, we're still figuring.
We just don't like trolls. That's all.
Exactly. Speaking of trolls, we started off tonight with Sammy in the ring versus Darby for the tournament for the World Championship. I do appreciate in these short 1 hour shows, again, just keep the entrances off. It makes such a difference for the start of Rampage.
It really does. You get more wrestling without 4 or 5 minutes of entrances.
You go right into like something action. But I did notice that early that commentary talks about them facing all 3 times so far, but they refused to mention what the record was, which makes me think that Sammy has dominated this rivalry, but they didn't want to mention the record because it would make it look bad, knowing that Sammy would win again. Early on, Darby did one of his dives to the outside into a cutter after Ty got in the way for a while. That was a fun one.
That was nice. The suplex spot was pretty cool.
It was a lot better than the one that we saw later on in the night because that one didn't go so smooth. This one went a lot smoother.
Yeah.
It was one of those suplexes over a top rope where the guy lands on the apron and then like they tossed him down to the floor. They both hopped down to the floor, and then I think Darby got the final suplex on the outside, didn't he? Yep, on the floor on the outside.
Yeah, because Sammy hit a superplex in the ring. Then he was going for like the second, or no, he got the second one, right? And then Darby countered the third one. And they kind of start tumbling and end up on the outside. Yeah. That was pretty cool.
I didn't really have anything else until we got to the end of the match, which was Sammy doing his stupid I'm crazy taunt going to the top rope, and then he went for a coffin drop and missed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, to reiterate, Sammy went for the coffin drop. Then Darby went for his.
Oh yeah, and this is around the time when Jericho chose Darby Allin as his Sports Entertainer of the Week. First time I've ever seen a face chosen by Jericho. I don't keep up with the Jericho Sports Entertainer of the Week, but it's never a baby face.
For a while, it was almost exclusively whichever member of the JAS was going to be on Rampage that week.
Yeah. Then he just started going on with like his favorite heel of the night.
But after he missed the coffin drop and Darby was going for his, and a JAS came down and distracted the ref, so Ty grabs the skateboard, slides it into the ring, not to be used as a weapon, because then she grabs Darby's leg. Sammy hits a low blow, a powerbomb onto the back of the skateboard, like with the wheels up, and then hits the GTH for the win.
Yeah. We knew Sammy was going to win this match.
Yeah. So, come on, if CM Punk's going to have problems with anybody in the company, why can't it be Sammy ripping off his move with a little twist and, go to sleep versus go to hell? Sorry, I just want everybody to hate Sammy, and I want everybody to hate CM Punk. But everybody to love the person we got a video package for next. Because they did a MJF recap video of the promo on Monday. Or Wednesday.
Yep.
That being said, since you missed the entirety of Wednesday, I don't know how much you went back and watched on YouTube or anything like that. What did you think of this recap?
The recap was, it served its purpose. It let you know that MJF can be a babyface if he wants to, but he doesn't want to.
And that's
so fuck everybody.
And that's why I was curious, because you got to actually see when he was playing as a babyface for a bit. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
It was so fun, but so awkward. Next up, we had Samoa Joe coming out to the ring. He does this whole "I've been away for a while, I'm so happy to be here," blah blah blah. But mm-hmm. he does say, after he kind of goes through that for a minute, he says he's been away for a while and he owes the people much more violence in the very near future. The Ring of Honor television champ is in the house and he's open for business, and that's when he's going into a pointless feud because Mark Sterling interrupted him.
Yeah, because you gotta have Mark Sterling doing something, man. Come on now.
He did have a good line, because he said Tony Nese has more abs than Samoa Joe has matches for AEW. And even Joe started nodding his head like, yeah.
He was like, yeah, he was probably right. Yeah. But yeah. Basically, obviously, we know Mark Sterling wants title shots.
To lose matches.
More focused on Josh Woods here getting a title shot, but
yeah, because Josh Woods saved his life from Wardlow on Wednesday night. Mm-hmm. And Joe starts to put over Josh Woods too and said, yeah, he deserves whatever everything. He hypes up Woods. He says, all right, let's go tonight.
And he's going to get it tonight. And then, of course, Sterling, nah, now. Next week, Albany.
Better New York City.
Yeah. So, next week on Rampage, Samoa Joe versus Josh Woods. Should be interesting.
Now, the real question for you, because speaking of interesting, how did you feel about what came next? Because we had a little bit of a Sony/AEW integration here, because as you would say it, Kratos came on the screen.
Yeah, I was going to say Kratos came out next. He didn't come out, just Kratos video. I don't really have a whole lot to say about the Kratos video, though, honestly.
In some ways, it almost felt like you could take this video package and take out any time that he mentions God and think that he's going, Tony Khan.
Yeah, I really do feel like Tony Khan was his God in this promo video, because he was just like, oh, I was this close to getting him, and then you took him away from me. And like, well, Tony Khan didn't resign or let Malachi go, so it's Tony Khan.
Now, his choice of words were fun though, because he said God snuck out the devil before he could snuff him out. Mm-hmm. He says God keeps him away from his wife by keeping him away from championships and by keeping gold on lesser men. He should have been in the tournament. He says God has failed, so put the belt on belt the Redeemer now. That whole last part, not being in the tournament, they failed to stop him, give him the titles. Like,
it's a what's next for Miro kind of promo.
He could have been basically, during this whole video package, instead of his normal kind of dark backgrounds, his background could have been Tony Khan's office door and just him knocking the whole time while he's saying this promo. It would make just as much sense.
I don't know.
I mean, it wouldn't have been as good. It would have been sillier, but everything that he says could have been directed right at the top, made at the top of that food chain.
That is true.
I do find it funny that he is not in the tournament because he was a dominant TNT champion. Which also means...
Oh, yeah. He does have the longest title reign, doesn't he? Or something. Or maybe I'm wrong.
He might have like the most defenses or something.
Okay.
But Cody might have that. But you gotta feel that simply, let's not put him in the tournament because you don't want him to lose, but you're not gonna make him champion, so
Right.
what do you do? You want to know what I have this next part listed as in my notes?
Please.
In like the Latin community type of way, it says MI versus Madison Rayne. Because we got Serena Deeb. I was so happy.
Serena Deeb versus stepmom stuck in a couch.
Did you look up that tag team partner I told you about?
No.
You know what? Let's just have fun with it. He is not a fan, or he sees Madison Rayne's look, kind of puts it in perspective or a reference point. I'll talk for a second. I need you to do me a favor. Google Velvet Sky.
You got me looking at now.
Because when they were talking about Madison Rayne's like accomplishments and accolades during the match, one of her tag team partners was Velvet Sky. Another was Angelina Love. But I feel that one probably fit.
Definitely looks like she did porn in the early 2000s.
Not to be disrespectful, because this is going live on YouTube. It's just they were called the Beautiful People, and like everything about that just lines up so perfectly. But
beautiful porn people.
Notably, she did sign with AEW. She is supposed to be like a coach and a trainer, and they even acknowledged that on TV that both of them are in those type of roles. And it came into play during the match because Serena Deeb put on a fucking clinic. And she was talking shit, like she was just embarrassing. Like, you're a coach, you're supposed to be on my level. Just embarrassing her. Sometimes when that happens, you might see that person kind of get their comeuppance by the end of the match. No. She started the Serenity Lock, bashed the shit out of her knee, put her in the Serenity Lock, and finished applying it, and she tapped out pretty quick.
I kind of think that we're working towards a Deeb becoming number one contender thing. I mean, she's going to lose, obviously, but I think she'll be back up to that number one contender area again.
Kind of like how she was a middle of the road feud for Thunder Rosa. Mm-hmm. And she should have won the championship. The path of the women's title could have been so vastly different. Like, she had that really, really fire fucking promo, which was better than anything Rosa did in her entire championship reign. You could have rolled with it. But I do understand long-term stories have some direction. I get it. Mm-hmm. But then we had to suffer for way too long of a Thunder Rosa reign after. Which she didn't even lose the title. She just interim champion.
She'll be back. But, whenever she's back, her and Tony Storm, because Tony will obviously still have the belt. But, they'll have their unification thingy-doodle. They'll probably try and make it hype like the Mox Punk thing, but it's not going to work.
People were trying to make a big deal because there was a time recently where Tony, I think it was during the media scrum before all the other major news happened, but Tony said these words: Rosa says she's hurt, almost as if she doesn't know for sure. But we got to have my little bit of excitement about one of my favorite women on the roster. I think it's, show that big old smile. Show that happiness for what happens next.
Yeah. Jade and the Baddies promo. Man, I love my girls.
It
Wasn't a whole lot to get out of the promo.
And it was with Lexi, so you didn't get the cut the shit, Tony, but she did say cut the shit.
She told Lexi to cut the shit, but it hits different when it's not Tony.
A young woman who looks like she can maybe like run in same circles or not same circles, but in the same crowds or types of places. And compared to a man who's probably like 60 and in a suit.
Yeah.
Nah, vastly different contrast.
Hell yeah.
You know, because Lexi's usually all, I don't want to say dolled up, but like dressed real nice. Like I think she had like a sequin or a sparkly ass dress on tonight.
Yeah, something like that. I wasn't paying much attention to her. There was baddies on screen.
Just big difference from Tony.
Yeah.
You might be better about this because I got very little notes about it. Sometimes they talked over. Well, at the end they kind of started talking a little bit over each other, but not much. But it was quick. Jay was moving quick through this promo. I basically just got that she said Athena thought she was going to do something. She did nothing. The whole 37, 38, 40, make it 50.
Yeah, that's what I said. There wasn't a whole lot to this. It was kind of more just, hey, I won. What's next? Who wants it?
She's out here giving the work. Whoever wants it, come on by.
Yeah. Whoever wants it can come and get it.
Just because I've noticed it recently, I can't remember if it was... Did she have any appearance on Dynamite? I don't think so. So it would have had to have been last week. I noticed it. I don't know how long she's been doing it, but she has that one eyebrow that's like half white.
Yeah, she does. I don't know how long she's been doing that for.
It first always threw me off because, like, depending on what lighting she is in, when she turns her head, sometimes it looks more and less like it kind of changes, like depending on the lighting. Mm-hmm. So, like, I always caught my attention on like trying to figure it out, but it's just on the one eye. I didn't know when that started.
Either way, Jade, you'd be doing some good stuff. Some cool stuff. Speaking of good stuff, though, that Hobbs promo was way more than the usual nothing from Hobbs, or at least I thought so. Or at least I got what he was saying here.
I got what he was saying. When he got a little bit later, when he got away from some of his like bullet points, it felt like he was like the wheels were turning, but he didn't know what to say. Mm-hmm. It was okay, but you could tell not comfortable in certain ways. Like it wasn't just all coming out naturally. Some of it was, but a little bit of it kind of, I'm like, okay, like waiting for an emphasis point, because it started off with Lexi calling his win unexpected and kind of like scoffs at her. Like, yeah. Unexpected? What? It says QT didn't get the job done, so he put Stark 6 feet deep. And all they had besides that was, it's time to open up the Book of Hobbs, because the rest of it kind of was like talking in circles a little bit.
Yeah. Well, he I don't know. The circle came back around though. He mentioned that Book of Hobbs, and he's opening up the Book of Hobbs, and at the end he just says, everybody's ready to see what's next in the Book of Hobbs. So it was these promos here tonight were just kind of like hey, I won. What do I do next? That's what all the promos were. Because he had except for Samoa Joe.
Because he had the part where he was talking about calling himself like the Beast, the Monster. Like he was just trying to. There's points where it just felt like he didn't know what he was trying to say next. Like it wasn't just smooth.
Yeah, it wasn't smooth, but I thought this was solid from him.
Oh, for him, like yeah, solid.
Mhm.
It just
Much better
obviously
than expected.
obviously there's just a lot of room to grow to become a more like a natural promo. Like
Yeah.
if you put that promo against a Ricky promo, Ricky is going to destroy him. But that's because Ricky's really fucking good. So that's what I'm just saying. Like, there's a lot. It wasn't bad, but there's a lot of room to get his growth and experience.
Right.
I'm just thankful it wasn't bad. Like, we like him, so I want him to do good.
Exactly. We need the future.
And I mean, even being at All Out, it was funny because so many people were chanting "Let's go, Ricky," and we love Ricky too.
Yeah, but Hobbs needed the more. So because Hobbs actually had a little bit more love than I thought he was gonna get during this match. Because it was, let's say the crowd was like 3/4 Ricky, 1/4 Hobbs.
It was one of those things.
That's pretty fair to say.
Maybe, yeah, because it was one of those things like when Ricky's chants were going to like me, it sounded like a chant. When the Hobbs chants were going, it was almost like you could pick out the pockets of where it was coming from. It wasn't as bad as Motor City Machine Guns though. That was just very singled out people in the crowd.
Yeah. It's rough.
Now, I will say for the first time in a while, it did feel like we got a relatively, I don't want to say meaningful because it wasn't super meaningful, but we got a good main event promo with good points and good talking.
Yeah, see, I think we're on like opposite sides of the fence today because other than Regal, this Regal can cut up a promo. Other than Regal, I didn't care about this promo because I've kind of noticed that Dax is starting to say the same stuff constantly.
Oh, it's definitely cliche.
And then Claudio is Claudio. He's not gonna get too many words in, that part of that was good that they didn't let Claudio talk too much. But Dax started doing Dax, and I was just like, okay. Like he makes you feel, but at the same time, he's saying a lot of the same stuff over and over, but he'll bring in something new every once in a while that'll get you, like the promo with his daughter. Like that's gonna stick with me forever. But then other promos, I'm just like, yeah, I get it, Dax. You're a family man. Somebody, you don't want people to mess with your money because that's messing with your family. Blah, blah.
I'll just take it over a lot of the main event promos that we've had where the promo themselves haven't been super energetic. They haven't been good. Like, I'm sorry, the Trustbuster ones. I remember them having one.
Yeah. Who remembers that?
Yeah, but that's what I'm kind of used to. So just even having Dax with some fire to it is a lot better than a number of our main event promos. But yes, Regal was definitely where the majority of the notes were. It's probably the meat to that sandwich. He talks about how he hired Dax from obscurity. He knows how good Dax is, and he could be a competitor for blah blah blah. But that Claudio is like the prototype, the specimen, and he's not going to be able to beat him. Claudio says the same kind of things. You could win singles championships, just not mine, not tonight. Then you get Daddy Dax promo.
Yeah. So so I guess you know what, I'll take it back because that at least the Regal was so good that it made it decent because that whole promo told the story of the match too. It was just, yeah, Dax, you're tough, you're a brawler, but Claudio is just too athletic for you. Like he does the same kind of brawly stuff too, but he's bigger,
Right, because
faster.
usually when you have like a size difference, there's usually the smaller person's faster, the bigger person's stronger. So there's give and takes on things. But
Mhm.
Claudio is
Yeah, I would say
bigger,
he's both bigger
faster,
and faster.
stronger, just as technically gifted. Yeah, just good luck. Um,
Mhm.
you could
Oh, we
talk,
had Caprice on commentary.
which by that note, they said Jericho said it was because he's on commentary and Regal wants none of it. Regal actually stayed at ringside with Claudio.
Yeah.
Um, Originally, I can't remember which one of the commentary teams. They said it was a credit to Dax, saying like Regal knows what Dax is capable of, so he wants to be down there to support his people even closer. Even though Regal has been on commentary for matches that you felt were a lot more even.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I get it. He knows Dax from, you know, history.
WW.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's partially
But
honest reason is you already had Jericho, you had Caprice, you had Excalibur, you
yeah,
just don't need to have 6 people, 7, 8, 9, a dozen people on commentary.
yeah. Caprice and Jericho Jack back and forth is pure comedy, by the way. I don't remember what Jericho said, but Jericho is pretty much always yelling when he's on commentary, and Caprice is like everyone else is using their inside voices.
Yep.
Fucking called him out for that. Nice.
Yeah. I I don't know what happened because obviously he's around because whatever they do with Ring of Honor, he's going to be very
Mhm.
much involved in it. He'll be the voice of it. But at the same time, I'm like, when JR goes, depending on what you do, because it could fully become, Taz, Excalibur, and Tony for all we know.
Yeah, that might be it.
But I'm like, I wouldn't mind hearing from Priest on a weekly basis. And not just for Ring of Honor matches.
Yes. Give us more Caprice. We like Caprice. Anyways, the match that Caprice commentated.
Oh, I'm just paying attention to time. I'm like, we got some time to fill still. So I was like, all right. I know it's trying to be quick.
I'm gonna say I'm perfectly fine with it.
I'm just trying to keep it relatively close. But I did not do a whole lot of notes on this match. I actually believe I fell asleep for about 30 seconds during this match, which is unfair. It's just because extremely tired and comfortable in my bed. The match was good. Technical wrestling sometimes.
It's slow moving. Like the pacing doesn't pick up until like the very end.
Outside of the awkward botch suplex, that was pretty early in the match.
Yeah.
So they try to do something similar to what we saw earlier in the night with Sammy and Darby, where they do the suplex over the top rope. But I'm guessing Dax tried to land on the ring apron, but his feet just went a little bit too far. So he like clipped it and he went down all the way to the ground in a very awkward kind of way, landing with his feet. And Claudio did not land however he was supposed to either, but I didn't notice how he fell as much.
Yeah, I didn't take a lot of notes on this match either. Dax tried to do Dax stuff, and like I said, Claudio is just bigger, faster, stronger, does the same kind of stuff right back at him. And it makes sense that it's hitting a lot harder because Dax is like 6 inches shorter and not built like him. I mean, he's not small, but not built like him.
Yeah. Swiss is lean. But this story of the match, both of them use one very specific move. One because they love the Hart family, and the other one, I don't know, just because Claudio uses the sharpshooter. And so there's attempts to trade the sharpshooter for a while before eventually Claudio counters, or he reverses out of one, but grabs hands, rolls over, starts throwing in forearm shots, and then throwing in elbows before kicking the sharpshooter back on, and Dax is pretty much out cold. It looks like in the beginning when he flips him over, but now he's still in there, but he taps pretty quick. So I have a feeling that the next time we hear from Dax, he's going to comment about it sucking to lose to the sharpshooter.
Yeah, he'll bring it up for sure. But I really didn't expect Dax to tap out. I thought it would be a pin win, just because Dax is like that all-heart wrestler where he never gives up.
And being that it's a sharpshooter, it would have been a very sensible time to do the pass-out thing.
Mm-hmm.
Babyface,
sharpshooter. Something like that. Yeah, I really did not expect that. I mean, I obviously expected Dax to lose, but I didn't expect him to tap out.
And honestly, that was the crux of Dax's promo before the match, was that nobody expects him to actually win. Mm-hmm. He knows it. One thing that is worth maybe noting, I'm not sure, I could see this being a thing, but Jericho did towards the end of this match, or possibly during Claudio's celebration, say he's never been the Ring of Honor champion before. And Caprice actually said, I don't know exactly what he said, but something that would at least mean that the Lionheart would actually make all the sense in the world going for like the Ring of Honor championship.
Yeah.
So considering he's about to start having some issues with Daniel Garcia, who just won a Ring of Honor championship, you maybe have enough loose threads there to weave Jericho in a Ring of Honor title picture. Maybe not immediate future, but 6 months, 9 months down the road. We'll see. Probably depends on if he wins this AEW championship.
I think he could actually.
I was gonna say, I saw your reaction, so I wanted to say this as a thought. If MJF was supposed to beat Punk because he has history with Punk, so it's easy to make that transition and be meaningful pretty quick, right? Well, if it's not Punk, do you go to the person MJF has the most history with? Which would be Jericho.
Maybe so. Because, at first I was like, nah, but now that I think about it,
Lionheart's been on a roll.
Yeah, because, he's been winning a lot of matches lately. And we've already seen Mox with the belt.
Yeah, I feel like don't put it back on Mox. If you're going to go with like a trusty guy that can wrestle and it's not for story purposes, give it to Danielson for the first time. If you're setting up for MJF and you want to rehash old story, Jericho makes all the sense in the world. There's also one other person that makes sense for the sense of story and also could help MJF if they really do want to keep him as a heel. What if Darby wins it? Or wait, no, he lost tonight. Doesn't matter. I was thinking about that before the show.
Yeah, there was no way he was going to lose or win against Sammy. And they weren't going to have heel on, or like face on face with Mox and Allen.
They've done it plenty.
They have, but it wasn't going to happen. I had 0% chance for Darby before the show.
I figured Darby would have a better chance than Sammy. Not necessarily in this match, but in the overall
if you were
scheme.
if you were to say a better chance to win the overall tournament, yeah. But when I saw the draw, I was like, nah, he's definitely not winning.
Because could you imagine if Darby won and everybody got to be all happy for Darby, and then MJF said, "Nope, that title's mine."
Yeah.
After
That's
Darby,
how you get that. That's how you get that real heel heat, because everybody loves some Darby.
yeah, and Darby finally climbs the top of the mountain, and then it's over so fast.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I thought Darby maybe had like a 4% chance of winning the whole thing.
Give me like 2, because Sammy only had like 0.5% chance.
I figured Hangman was probably like 20, Danielson was probably like 20, and then you had like kind of Jericho and Mox kind of on even ground.
Yeah.
Because you can always look at Mox, even though he doesn't need to have it again, you can look at it as like a reset on All Out. Be like, just put the title back on him. I'm kind of hoping for Danielson at this point.
Yeah, something new for AEW.
Yeah.
Danielson could use something. He could use something big right now, I feel like, so it'd be good.
You can let Mox take his vacation, and then it could just be kind of awkward when he comes back and he's the number 2 guy in his own group.
Yeah.
I want the title, but I don't want to fight you. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. Interesting times it's interesting times in AEW. We'll find out a lot more soon. The only thing that we know for sure is that by the end of Full Gear, for fuck's sake, have that championship around somebody who wears a scarf around his neck all the time.
Yeah.